They are back in business because Bobby Lashley is indeed all elite. Major big time news. Bobby Lashley finally made his debut for All Elite Wrestling in a major way, coming out, putting the beat down on a bunch of security, as well as the former AEW World Champion himself, Swerve Strickland. Brian, this was something we all expected, but I don't think we expected it to be tonight on Dynamite Fright Night. What do you got to say about this?
Man, listen, bro. Bobby Lashley being in AEW is a big deal. I think that we're gonna be looking at, some cool, just what's the word? Cool angles. Especially it looks like he's gonna be involved with Swerve. He's gonna be involved with the Hurt family that they desperately talk about so much. So I think they're giving him an opportunity to right their wrongs with this group. Especially with how much they've talked. I think that they need to actually make this, not that it didn't work the first time, but actually go crazy with it, because that's been their prediction this whole time, right? They've been talking about, oh, if Triple H gave us time, or whoever was booking at the time gave us time, they would have been something bigger. So they're giving them an opportunity now. So I am looking forward to seeing what they do with Bobby Lashley joining AEW. What do you think about it?
Hey man, look at that man. Look at that man. No, let me not do the canceled voice. But bro, I gotta say, of all the things I was expecting, I was not expecting Lashley to show up on Fright Night Dynamite. But I will say that man would look frightening walking down the aisle. Lights on him. I thought the presentation was, as Kenny Baum would say, I thought that the way they had him come down and absolutely tear up everyone who was in front of him, it made a statement. And I like what you said there, because it's true. Like, one of the things about the original Hurt Business that people felt like was they didn't capitalize on their full potential. And one that's been a common criticism of a lot of that era of WWE booking. And I think it's something we're going to hear about in both companies coming forward over the next couple of years. At the end of the day, they now have an opportunity to rewrite that book, like you said. And it's going to be up to them and Tony Khan to see how they do it. But putting him in there with Swerve Strickland, someone who has probably had, I would say, a good 2024 as anybody in wrestling, I think that's the ultimate place to put him in, because you position Lashley as this world beater, as this star, as someone who is important, which wasn't the way he was in WWE. Because, Brian, let's be honest, bro. The last time we really saw Bobby Lashley, my boy won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy on
Wasn't booked at
SmackDown.
Mania.
And he was like, no, he was at Mania, but you know what he was doing? He was like, my trophy. Doing the Brian pose. Nah, but I think it's dope. And we're going to be at Full Gear, so we're going to get to see in person, potentially, what
his first match, maybe.
What this Lashley versus Swerve thing could be. But I really am interested to hear, look, we're a couple weeks out, but who wins this, right? Because we're in a bit of a conundrum. You got Swerve over here having the run of his career, doing his thing. But Bobby Lashley, he's got to be established, right, as a big-time threat in the main event scene. So what do you think they should do?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think Swerve is established enough in AEW where he can afford a loss. What do you think happens? Do you think Swerve loses this match and he can afford to?
Listen, man. Look, I'll be honest with you. Bobby Lashley is new. Bobby Lashley is the new toy in town. He's the new shiny toy, very shiny. A lot of baby oil on that man. Shout out to him. But
no Diddy.
Definitely not, bro. Definitely not. That's not. We don't do that over here at KTR. Definitely not. But I will say, as shiny of a toy as he is, and as I'm sure Tony Khan wants to be like, oh man, I just want to see him go out there and win, bro. Swerve Strickland has been the guy over the past almost calendar year you have hooked your wagon to. And I think it's important because this would be one of Swerve's first real big match back. He came back and he did this match with Shelton Benjamin that of course is big, and seeing them in the ring together in itself is an insane thing. But I think Swerve's gotta win this first one. And that is and again, people are going to be like, oh, well, Bobby's not going to be able to beat that, and they're gonna be like, oh, he's being buried like he was in WWE. But I think like what people forget is, hey man, we got multiple pay-per-views now. You got like World's End coming up after that. Like, there's the potential for Bobby to get a win there later on. I don't think that this is going to be a one-time pay-per-view thing. And the other thing that I think people also forget is like, I think there's going to be layers to this. We don't know what this is going to be. One thing that the MVP is always like kind of emphasized is the need for there to be more than just a match, more than just wrestling on the line. So I'm expecting for Bobby Lashley, MVP, and the Hurt Syndicate to make it a little bit personal with Swerve, just like Swerve has made it personal with many other people in the past. Shout out to Hangman Page, who's crashing out on Dynamite right now. I don't know what's going on. I just saw a photo of him just angry. Like my boy's cooked. But it does bring up a point though, like that I want to ask you about again. Like the Hurt Business is here, right? And you got Shelton Benjamin, you got Bobby Lashley, MVP, 4 guys who've been there, done that. 4 guys you could argue may need that spotlight. But to what end are they going to be in AEW? And I think that's the question, right? Like, are they going to be there to be main eventers? Is Bobby Lashley going to be the AEW World Champion? Yep. They're going to be TNT champion? What's going on? Like, what do you think the goal should be with this group?
I think you put the title on Bobby. If they want to be as big as they say they were going to be,
Bobby Lashley.
I think you throw it on him.
Hey yo, not Will Ospreay. We're not talking about Will Ospreay. We're not talking about Hangman having another.
I mean, what would you throw on Bobby? An international title, maybe?
Hey man, he can make. Look, the thing about Bobby Lashley is this. First of all, this is why AEW, Tony Khan. Let me tell you something, bro. You got 3 mid-card titles. One of those championships you just need to turn into what I call the meat belt. And Brian's still looking at me like, what? The meat belt? Let me tell you about it, man. One thing AEW needs is a meat division. I'm talking about big, beefy boys. As Big E would say, big, meaty men slapping meat. Give me an entire division that's like the opposite of what the Cruiserweights was. Just give me like Lance Archer, what's his name? Powerhouse Hobbs, Bobby Lashley, just big dudes fighting for a belt. Make it the TNT Championship and let Bobby run that division. Like, there's so much you could do. I don't think Bobby should be a world champion unless, like, if the story calls for it and it's undeniable, then of course. But, like, I don't know if it's going to be undeniable anytime soon, just given not only the backlog of talent AEW have, but also, man, Bobby Lashley. Like,
I think it'll happen eventually. If they get as big as they say that they could be. Hey, you got to strap it. You got to strap it up.
I'm just saying, man, that's crap. Look, who am I to say, man? That man is like 50 years old. He looks like that. So I'm not going to argue with him. I don't want that man like running up on me. Shout out to Bobby Lashley. But guys, let us know in the comment section what you think AEW should do with Bobby Lashley now that he is officially all elite. Let us know. Until next time, be happy, be healthy. And as always,